Should we do some exercise like we did with Taylor?
Jazz hands. I don't know why I did jazz hands.
Hello, I'm Adam from NUFC Fans, and you join us for an emergency fans forum following the breaking news that Newcastle have not only unveiled a new number 9, but we have a new captain for the Championship season. I'm joined by Simon.
Hello.
And Ross.
Hiya.
As we digest this groundbreaking news, first of all, we'd like to start with Jamaal Lascelles, the captaincy. Now, before I get you started, I did watch our first ever fans forum video just 5 minutes ago, where we talked about the potential captaincy. Would you like reminded of who you both picked?
We both picked Jamaal Lascelles.
No, you did not.
I did.
You did?
Yes.
Someone thought it was going to be Jack Colback.
I'm just amazing.
You asked me the question who I'd like it to be and who I'd think it'd be. They're two very different questions. I liked it to be Jamaal, which has been proven true. But Rafa's shocked us by not going with Jack Colback.
Why do you think he's done that then? Why do you think he's not gone for Colback?
I mean, it would have been awful.
Yeah, it's the correct. Let's make it clear. It's the correct decision he's gone with Jamaal. I just expected just because Jack Colback you can't get rid of him. He's like an annoying cockroach, isn't he?
I thought you were going to say something
Yeah,
else entirely there.
You also said it's because he's a quote-unquote Geordie and he knows what he's playing for.
He knows the club, he knows what he's playing for.
So the big question is, does Jamaal Lascelles know what he's playing for?
I just think everyone else is scared of Big Jamaal.
Big arms, yep. Simon?
I think it's the right choice given the last 10 games of the season. He proved that he was the right leader there.
The only question marks possibly hanging over him: 1, age. He's only 22 years old, very young, with a lot of responsibility to be putting on someone that age. 2, experience. He's still not played that many first-team games, you'd think, for someone taking the captaincy. Are those issues at all a concern to you two?
His age is nothing to me. It's just a number. Because I'm 10 years older than him. That's why I'm saying that. But, I don't think that's a problem. And I think if you're good enough and influential enough, you're old enough.
Ross, what about his experience?
He's showed he's got maturity and leadership beyond his years. That old chestnut. So it's not a concern for me at all.
I refer back to the interview we did after the Southampton game. You know, the one where Stephen Taylor just forgot how to defend, forgot how Matter worked and allowed people to pass straight
Matt
through.
broke his arm.
That one is a post-match interview after that game. I hadn't actually seen it until I just watched it there. Is some of the most honest and brave, and I think he was the only one who fronted up to the press after that.
He knows he's 6'3" and built like a brick proverbial, so he's going to say what he wants with no ramifications, and he just doesn't care. What's anyone going to do about it?
Is that an important quality for a captain to have?
Well,
I think it is.
If someone's not pulling it, I've just watched the interview on NUFC TV there. If someone's not pulling the weight, he says, I'm going to tell them they're not pulling the weight and they're going to do it.
I mean,
and I like that.
If Mitrovic does, I think you might give him a pass. But everybody else...
It'll be a fair fight, that.
Yes.
But you couldn't imagine Colaccini doing that ever when he was a captain, could you?
That's true.
Well, no, but there's other things as well, like talking on the pitch and telling players what to do on the pitch. I never saw Colaccini do that in the entire time he was a captain.
No.
I don't think I did anyway. So that's going to be a step up straight away.
Do you think... I mean, obviously this won't happen because we're going to win every single game this season, but let's say by act of God or whatever, we end up on a bad run, the pressure's on. Is Jamaal Lascelles going to be able to cope with that, do you think? Has he got the experience to...
Actually, I think the fact that he spoke up at the end of the season the way he did pretty much puts him in good stead there, because he wasn't like... We weren't in a golden period at all when he was proving himself.
Look what happened after he did that interview. We went 6 or 7 games unbeaten, didn't we? I'm not saying that's the reason why we went 6 or 7 unbeaten, but it surely must have played a part. Must have rallied the troops. Bit of inspiration for once in that dressing room last season.
There's a grand history of captains ruling by fear. People like Paul Ince and Peter Schmeichel and things like that. Even Schmeichel, when he wasn't an outfield player, did it just simply by terrifying everybody else. And I think Lascelles probably got that in him.
In your mind, is there any player in the squad who can potentially feel slightly overlooked with this, or was he the
I
only
bet Jack
viable?
Colback does.
Aye.
But I don't think
It wouldn't have been the right
justifiably
choice,
so.
though, yeah. I think he was just the right choice, wasn't he? There wasn't too many options.
Were Sissoko not nailed on to leave, then somebody might have suggested him because he's done it in the past, but I think that would have been the worst thing. I think, to be honest, it's a good publicity move by the club. It's the same thing as when we went down last time, and they sort of allowed it to be known that Kevin Nolan was being the leader, even though he wasn't the captain at the time. They need somebody like that, and they've chose somebody for the same reasons as Nolan was like that, because he was vocal when it was times were tough.
Do you think this is the first sort of cemented first teamer now? Taking the number 6 shirt and he's the captain. Do you think that's sort of, because there's 4 central defenders now for the first time in a long time going to be vying for a starting place. Do you think that means it's Lascelles and one other in every chance we get?
Definitely, yeah.
If you're asking me this yesterday, I would have said it's when he's fit in Bemba and one other. But now this has happened. It's the other way around. It's flip reversed, some would say. Blazing squad reference.
I would like to think that it would be both of them.
It should be.
I mean, Hanley he's going to do a job because he's a unit. He makes Lascelles look tiny. But he's not a pretty footballer, and I don't even know if he's a footballer. He's just like there.
Grant Hanley's a wonderful player in my entirely unbiased.
I know,
says the Scotsman.
Yeah. But I was talking to a Scotsman the other day, and he said he's terrible. So there you go. And also, I think if Kieran Clark's going to play, he's going to play at left back.
That name just gives me the willies every time I hear it.
Kieran Clark.
Terrifying.
Well,
but he's better than Dummett. I mean, that's not a massive achievement.
Is he?
I think he is, without question.
I think Dummett's more reliable.
I
don't
know where that comes from.
Every time you see Kieran Clark a match of the day, he's running after the ball back the way because he's out of position.
But so is Dummett. Dummett has this reputation of being a class tackler, but it's always latch-dish. It's always when he's running back towards his own goal. He doesn't defend space. For me, he's not a defender.
I hate to throw a spanner in the works of this whole left-back conversation you're having, but as a massive fan of conventional squad numbers, Kieran Clark's taken the number 2. So cannot possibly be playing at left-back.
This is true, yeah.
What number's he's it?
Well, should we go through it? We should move on to the squad numbers now.
Yes.
The club have officially announced their squad numbers for the new season, and there's a couple of surprises in there, I would say. Tim Krul remains number 1 despite his impending exit. Kieran Clark's taking the number 2 shirt for a man who's going to play either centre-back or left-back. Quite an unusual.
We have just had 7 years of a centre-back wearing number 2.
Oh, I won't bore you with the details of South American heritage over squad numbers, Ross, but that's perfectly acceptable to me from Argentina. Off camera, I will. Dummett remains number 3, callback 4. Grant Hanley's taking the number 5 shirt.
It's a centre-half's number.
Jamaal Lascelles steps into number 6.
I like that.
Sissoko retains number 7. Vernonita's still 8. Now, the big one. Despite logic saying it was going to go the other way, and 60% of NUFC fans, readers, voting for it.
Not me.
Dwight Gale has taken the number 9 shirt for the impending season. How do we feel about that?
Clearly differently, judging by the immediate reaction. I think it's a good move. I think Mitrovic has already said that he likes to play as number 45. He said it at Anderlecht that he chose it there because it added up to 9, and then he's kept it because it's lucky. Although, what evidence?
What luck he's talking about there, yes.
But I think that Gale is going to be our new Bellamy, and if he scores goals, then he's worth the shirt. He might not be a traditional number 9, certainly not in the Newcastle tradition anyway, but if he scores goals, you can have the number 9.
Well, what is the traditional number 9 for us? Because
it's Alan Shearer. No, nobody looks beyond that. It's only Alan Shearer.
Andy Cole's a very different player to Alan Shearer. Even Andy Carroll's a very different player to Alan Shearer. He had different kinds of movement, scored various different kind of goals. Pape Cisse, a very different player to all of them. Do we still have a traditional number 9?
Obafemi Martins. We don't. It's a complete spectrum of different players. But there's a fallacy that the number 9 is Shearer, Len White, that sort of player. Big, tough.
Mickey Quinn.
Supermark.
Exactly.
Ross?
Anyway, I would partially semi-retired the number 3 like we did the last time I went down. Make someone earn it, because you were saying if Dwight scores goals.
This is true.
If I like to think, you've scored a few goals, you've earned the shirt, because it's still pretty special up here. Even though we have had, since Shearer retired, we haven't had much joy with it.
No. Do you think it's an unnecessary level of pressure to put on a player? Dwight Gale, he's still, I think he's 25, he's played less than 200 games, scored less than 100 goals. Now all of a sudden he's got to carry this, and rightly or wrongly, we do attach a lot of weight to it. Was that the right thing to do?
I think we need to break that mythology to a certain extent. I know that certain Sunderland forums would have nothing to talk about if there was no famous number 9. But I don't think it needs magic attached to it because it is too much pressure. Yeah. As long as that keeps going, it's just going to get worse. Whoever the next number 9 is going to be like, oh well.
Keep it. Keep it. We haven't got much else under this regime, have we? It's coming back with Rafa.
Benitez?
Not that regime. Michael James Wallace Ashley.
Yes.
Under that regime. It's coming back slowly. But I like it, keep the number 9, the famous number 9. Put all the pressure on it.
And you think Gale will do alright as a number 9?
He should do alright.
Do you think it'll make any difference to a season whatsoever, him having that shirt?
I don't think it will. I think if he doesn't start well, then it will in terms of the fans' perceptions of him, because they'll say he's crap and he's not worth the number 9. But
see, that's why I would have retired it. You see, you would have took that away from the fans.
It's a move of confidence, isn't it? by Rafa and by
I
him
try to
accepting
refrain
it.
from imposing my opinion on the page, but I would have kept it off this season.
Well, that's right.
You're a sensible
a
man.
lot of
I
people
am a
can be
sensible
wrong.
man. So that's Dwight Gale. Sim de Jong remains number 10. Does that? I mean, obviously, they wouldn't just strip him of a squad number, but do we think there's any?
Well, you say that, but you're going to see someone a bit later on who has. Mr. Y. Gouffran has lost his number 11.
That brings me nicely on to Matt Ritchie at number 11. Although we'll just skip past you.
Spoiler alert. Well, actually, let's go back to De Jong because I like Sam De Jong. Or I like the idea of him anyway.
To me,
on what basis can you form that opinion? Because what have you seen from him that makes you like him?
He's got a wonderful touch.
When have
which
you
I've seen?
Why do you go and watch
I've
training
seen it
sessions?
at least 2 or 3 times, and I love the idea of him
footballing touch.
being like being like Sheringham. He's never touched me.
Well, it would explain a lot, Simon.
That's not right. I think he offers something completely different to the rest of the team. And
No
I think,
football
exactly.
ever.
I knew that was going to happen. There you go. And I think he's a classy continental player, but he's just the most heinously injured of all
I think
time.
he's certainly got something to offer this season.
I don't
if
think we've
nothing
got.
else.
If anything,
I hope he does just earn his wage a bit,
But I think there's not too much we can read into him keeping his squad.
No, we don't have a number 10. There's nobody else who would play number 10.
Matt
Whereas he
Ritchie
does.
is in at number 11, which is awful news if your name's Johan Gouffran, who's now been shifted into 20.
It is, yeah. But I think if we'd given him number 11, that would have been unfair on him because it's setting an expectation that's not going to come off.
Now, is that a signal that he's staying? Now, see, because logic would tell you the other way. You could have just given him any old squad number, or they could have just not given him one, or not assigned him one, or they could have kept him at number
Who's
11.
meant to be buying him, like? Who's interested in Johan Gouffran?
Aston Villa will link him for a while.
Way.
Aston Villa on a spending spree.
Well, today they are, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like Middlesbrough looked at him.
The point I would
But
make
nobody's
here is
linked
Sissoko's definitely leaving. And he's still got number 7 on this.
Simon James Gallagher has a conspiracy theory.
I do. I think that is basically just the club playing hardball. So, if you think about it from a bias perspective, if Newcastle give Sissoko the number 30 shirt as a you're going to need to believe it was fuck you to Sissoko, then someone like Real Madrid, I know they're not linked, but somebody like that will come in and say, well, I know that they don't want him to play, so I'm going to put in a lesser offer. You give him the number 7, he's our player, we don't need to sell him, and that bumps up his price to the 35 again.
So it's the opposite with Gouffran.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
to come and get him play.
It's a double bluff, if anything. Yeah.
No number 13 because John Joe Shelby remains number 12. It's the oddest number for a creative midfield player at number 12.
It's very strange.
Well, all the other numbers were taken, weren't they? Apart from obviously, I suppose he could have ignore that. He could have switched. Matt Ritchie's just taking someone else's number. Just ignores it.
There are sexy numbers available. I personally find 15's a nice number, but Jamaal Lascelles. Anyway, I digress. No unlucky number 13.
Good
this year. Despite the fact we've got 9,000 goalkeepers, no one's taking the second most traditional
number. This is
number
true,
there. Isaac Hayden maintains his James Perch mantra by keeping
because he is the second coming of God himself.
No, let's not do that. Let's not slight his name before he's had a chance. The poor lad.
People are going to remind you say this when you can't get in the team.
Bigs up CM De Jong, knocks down Jimmy Perch. What a backwards individual you are.
Yeah. Perez, Aarons, Mbemba, Haidara, Elliott, Yama, Saive, Tiote, Darlow all stay with their current numbers. Would have thought if we were handing out nice traditional defensive numbers, Mbemba would have been in the running for that. Or maybe he's just not bothered.
Might be a lucky number for him, who knows?
Might be. Yama stays at 22, as I say. Khanez takes the famous 27 at this club.
Makes he cares about it, doesn't he? Knows what he's playing for.
Yep.
He's going to go to the Gallagher and do that thing.
Does this give him... Well, see, I was worried that with Taylor going would be missing A, rush of bloods to the head, and B, someone who knows what he's playing for. But obviously, we'll sign Kieran
Clark for that.
Sign Kieran Clark. So now does that give Gamez the fist pumps responsibility?
Why not?
Is that what comes? Is that the weight that comes with the 27 shirt? The same way goals come with the number 9?
It does. Leaving your brain at the door. That's what comes with the 27 shirt.
Sells 28, which he's been wearing in pre-season. Emmanuel Riviere. There's a name. Number 29.
Who cares?
Did he have that last season?
He did. Yeah. Adam Armstrong stays at 32. Freddie Woodman stays at 41.
I'd be amazed if either of those two aren't on loan.
Sterry.
Armstrong.
I think he'll go out.
Oh, he said
yeah.
he's going to play.
We've only got 3 strikers.
Yes, but I also don't like him very much. So this
Whoa,
is
we're
wishful
going to have to
thinking.
unpack this one. You don't
Let's
like
remind
Adam Armstrong
ourselves
very much.
again. He bigs up CM De Jong. He knocks down Jimmy Perch. And now
He's 9 years old. Leave him alone.
Well, that's a problem, but he's not. He's 20, and he should have shown something of his promise.
he did
Just
last
break
season.
the table there.
He scored 100 goals last season.
Yes, for Coventry, and then stopped immediately. Like the second half of the year, he didn't. He did nothing. He's Adam Campbell, is what he is. He's just going to be that exact thing. He'll be playing for. He might go to Coventry, somebody like that, as his next club, and then he'll go down the leagues. He's a Jimmy Coppinger sort of.
What's these words?
I know it's harsh, but like he makes a lot of good runs and doesn't make a lot of good decisions. Doesn't score goals.
This
At Newcastle, in black and white.
Coventry season ticket holder,
Yeah.
Simon Gallagher. Here.
This is based off one performance against Vitesse by any chance?
He was terrible when he came on. But no, I mean generally, I don't particularly rate him. He played all right in that Man City League Cup game, but again, he didn't create anything. He was buzzing around in the middle. Wasn't a striker.
What Man City League Cup game?
The away one.
The famous Alan Pardew Mastermind League Cup
I
game.
don't remember Adam.
When Rolando
I don't
Aarons-
even remember Adam Armstrong starting that game, so perhaps
did,
that
he
would
did.
Him and Rolando Aarons.
He effectively played a defensive number 10 with nobody ahead of him.
completely forgot he played that. And Barbu 43, that was last season, wasn't it? Was he? Yeah. Sterry 42 and Mitrovic 45. Now, this leaves a number of players who might have been in and around the squad with no numbers.
Yes.
Obviously, Gouffran and Tovan haven't been given numbers. I think the club have just forgotten to confirm Cabela's left.
I think Tovan's just
Sorry,
No,
not Gouffran, Cabela and Tovan.
Tovan's gone. He's been
Tovan's
confirmed.
gone, yeah.
What's not been confirmed?
It has been confirmed.
The Olympic.
I have just read on the official website.
News
before
just
coming
coming in
here.
here. Yeah, he's
No.
gone.
He's
Gone,
gone.
right.
He's definitely gone.
So him and Cabela, no numbers, obviously. Biggie Romana, no number. Could he have? Is he someone who could have found his way back in the
He's
fold
got
this
a
year?
number. He's number 2.
Biggie Romana? Oh,
You see?
he means poo.
I mean,
He means
poo. It's a poo joke there. Poo. It's poo.
No, Curtis Good.
These are all lost causes. Your name in here, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
This is
see,
like-
you're going to say that. I imagine you say the same thing about Sammy. Fair enough, lost cause. Vukic, probably a lost cause. Lubo Satka, failed to start. Ivan
Tony's different.
No squad
yeah,
number.
That's strange.
Rafa might not like him.
Maybe he's going out on loan.
That
But
would
then
be a
even
more
then, even then,
sensible-
you'd
But
give
even
him a
then,
number as
a
a
lot of
similar
players
intent for the
here are
future and
presumably
send him
going
out.
on loan.
Yeah.
No squad
I
number.
wonder
for
if
Ivan Toney.
Rangers are going to do that thing.
Do we
Green
still
tie
have, do we
up, but they're
even
not
still have a
allowed,
connection with them?
No
I don't
idea.
know. Plus they're in there.
Let's look it up. In the big time
They're
now.
in the SPL now, so.
Too good.
That's.
Tony's a strange one. I'd like to see him give him a chance, but I can base that absolutely on nothing as well.
I've only seen him play once against Northampton when he came on last season. He didn't out then.
I was at that game. I remember that. I was thinking
He
about
came on late on and didn't out. So who
He
knows?
didn't. He's so far shown considerably less than Niall Ranger did, which is not
that.
very
That
good.
is saying something. Who's just got a new club, by the way.
Southend,
Southend
yeah.
United.
Southend by the Sea.
Another thing to write on his face if he stays there.
I thought you were going to say CV or Facebook.
Oh, no, well, that as
but
well,
no,
yeah.
all of it.
I think it's
Um,
Facebook's his CV.
His face is his Facebook. You can go, please edit this. One final bit of business. Ross McCormack appears to have completed his move. Well, it doesn't appear to be. Has completed his move to Aston Villa. £12 million is kind of money we've been throwing about. You mentioned yesterday we should maybe have been looking at him. Simon, can I trouble you for an opinion on Ross McCormack?
I think a 30-year-old for 12 millions
he's never 30.
he is
he
generally
30?
bad, but 12 million for a striker who's going to score your goals to get you in the Premier League is not a bad amount.
Well, this is what Ross
This is
said.
what I was
If
saying,
he was going to make the difference.
I think that we
Especially since we're still thin up there. We still need.
we need a traditional centre forward, like ironically a number 9 type. If we're going to
We've
use
got
that
one?
sort of with Gale, yeah.
No, not him. Big Mitra. He's not. He's
And
traditional, isn't he?
yes, but I don't think he's. Jordan Rhodes to me is a traditional number 9. A traditional centre forward. McCormack is as well. People who are going to score off that backside. Biggie Quinn, who scored off his bell end actually, famously.
Language. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Mitrovic is sort of like that, but he's not quite 6-yard box fox in the sort of player. For me, he plays quite deep.
Dwight Gale not doing that, not taking that box here.
No, I think he's going to run around a lot more than I would expect a traditional number 9 to. I think he's going to buzz. I like that. I like that phrase.
Okay. Well, that wraps things up relatively nicely. But before we conclude, can I trouble you both for a scoreline and possibly a first goal scorer if you're feeling brave, for tomorrow night's Championship opener against Fulham.
You know what the bookies like after this? To steal our ideas, right?
After you?
No, after you.
All right,
After you,
I'm going to
sir.
go ones apiece because I'm a pessimistic man.
Ones apiece.
We have
Ones
got a
apiece.
tradition of starting the season
Starting
like that.
slow like we always do.
Yeah, I think 2-0, to be honest, to us. Or 0-2.
0-2. Confident?
I am.
Do you think it'll be a 2-0 game, or do you think we'll just win 2-0?
I think it might be more than a 2-0 game to us. I mean, that's going to send Aston Villa hashtags wild on Twitter.
Yeah, loaded, mate. Yeah, loaded.
Exactly. And
Is
also
that your best Birmingham accent?
also-
Is it?
No,
he's
it's a
talking about the
Magnum
other lot.
accent,
I
that.
just
right.
didn't think to bring them up. I think Fulham are quite a... I don't want to, like, doom we're here, but I don't think Fulham are a very good team. I don't think they've done anything this summer, and they've got Scott Parker playing, who is probably 45 years old now.
Remember Scott Parker?
Yeah.
What a canny lad.
He did nothing at
Pirouette,
Newcastle again.
pass to
Yeah.
the centre back. Knock
Scott
yourself
Parker,
out.
the crab, sideways, constantly.
Pivot, fall over Scott Parker.
But I think they've blunted themselves, or they haven't blunted themselves. Other people have. They've lost Dembele, they've lost McCormack. They haven't got any instincts.
Very kind of Villa to take away probably Fulham's only real
yeah.
goal threat for us the day before the game.
Exactly.
Not the canny.
I think they might fall for the Newcastle as the Galacticos of the Championship and try and defend, and then we'll beat them on the break.
Is
we
their
not?
manager still like Jukanovic? That was at Watford.
I don't know.
Because if it is, he seems to be like a nifty little manager, him, so he might be a
I
bit of a tactical battle, you never know.
I think it'll be a very, very dull game, but I think we'll win 1-0. I think they will set themselves up.
I can just see it now. Matt Ritchie will score a free kick in the 36th minute, right? And then Matt Smith, Fulham's traditional number 9, will tower a header in 78th minute. That's what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Jamaal Lascelles will be superhuman tomorrow, man, after being named captain. There's no way anybody's going to get past him.
One final piece of business as we continue our scattergun approach to working out what the hell is going to work on this YouTube channel. Myself and Ross and possibly a guest will be watching the Fulham game live on the channel, doing a live reactions to it, giving our various thoughts, and joining in with all your social media crack as it happens. What time?
Drinking the beer.
Yes, we will also be drinking lots of beer. What time are we starting for all the preamble with Sky Sports?
Are we doing that?
Oh,
do we
we've
need
got
to
to.
sit through that?
I
pain
think
of
you should do it.
Simon Thomas and Ian Holloway. I can't
Complete-
stand Ian Holloway.
I think
Yeah,
our
no,
dedication to our audience is such, Ross, that we must.
It'll just be half an hour. Me going. Ian Holloway's a bit of a tit, isn't he?
Yes. Which
Yeah.
will end up being a supercut edit of you going Ian Holloway's tip for 5 minutes. It'd be great. So yes, please join us.
7 p.m. then I guess.
7 p.m.
I don't know what time it starts. That might be the time it starts.
We think it's
Whatever the time the Sky Sports programme starts, we'll be there. We
Kelly
will.
Dalglish. It's not called that anymore.
When are you coming? What are you doing?
I'm in South Shields.
Doing what?
I mean, I don't think this is for public broadcast.
Yes, so do please join us on the NUFC Fans YouTube channel tomorrow from probably about 7. We'll let you know, give or take ish. Yes, so that concludes our impromptu NUFC Fans Forum. I've been joined as ever by Ross.
My forehead looks very shiny in this camera. I do
The
realise.
lighting, I think, and Simon.
Thanks very much.
Oh, you're welcome, Simon. It's a pleasure. I've been Adam from NUFC Fans. We shall hopefully see some of you tomorrow night. How are the lads and all that, etc., etc. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. I have been Adam from NUFC Fans, and we shall all see you very soon.